Hi and welcome to EPM. In this training video, we'll cover how to create a new piece of equipment, edit an existing piece of equipment, verifying equipment details, searching for model numbers, and exploring the archive records. To get started, let's pick a site. You can pick a site by selecting one that you've already created, that was assigned to you, or by creating a new site. If you want to search for a site, simply pull down on the list of sites to expose the search field. Here you can search by the site name or site address. By selecting a site, all the pieces of equipment that pertain to that site will then be displayed. In this example, Site 112 contains the following pieces of equipment: HVAC 1 kitchen, 2 service line, 3 dining room, and 4 solarium. Now let's add a new piece of equipment to this site. Simply tap Add Unit. Here I can choose from air conditioner split system, heat pump split system, rooftop unit packaged, or other. For this example, let's pick rooftop unit packaged. Next, I want to complete all the rooftop unit details and fill this information. First, let's start with tag name. A tag name is a naming convention for a piece of equipment. We want to be uniform for each location we go to. So a tag name can contain the acronym of that piece of equipment, typically a numbering convention if there's multiple pieces of that same equipment, and then finally the location it either exists or the location it serves. For this example, since we picked rooftop unit packaged, the typical naming convention is HVAC or AC or RTU, followed by a number because there's multiple pieces of equipment. And then finally, in this scenario for HVAC 1, it serves the kitchen. For our example, we're going to pick HVAC MUA, or Makeup Air. Next, we're going to pick a manufacturer and a model number. So let's select the manufacturer field. By selecting the manufacturer field, I can then pick the manufacturer name from the list of manufacturers as shown. If the manufacturer is not displayed, simply pick Can't Find the Manufacturer, and you could select and submit that manufacturer and model number to Automated Decision, where we will then update your account information. Again, for this scenario, let's pick Aeon Makeup Air, since we're working on a Makeup Air unit. Now, we're going to search for the model number in the Automated Decision Equipment Database. By looking at the equipment main plate, we want to find the model number. Now that I found the model number, I'm going to start keying that model number in. You can see here that it's already starting to hunt through thousands of model numbers in our database. A few important notes. One, we will only display and return the first 8 to 10 characters of any model number. So in many cases, the manufacturer displays and publishes more than just 10 characters in a model number. However, again, we only display the first 8 to 10 characters of any model number. The other thing to note are, in some cases, you may see asterisks. Asterisks represents wildcards, and a wildcard could be a letter or a number. Now, the piece of equipment that I'm working on, that's next to me, is an RN01180BA Z2-135, and it's older than a 2014. So the closest match to the model number that I have is RN01180BA*2-*. So I'm going to pick this. You can see after selecting that option, the Aeon Makeup Air Unit RN01180BA*2- has been returned to my equipment details. Furthermore, the Automated Decision Equipment Database has also returned the number of condenser fans, the number of compressors, the OEM cooling capacity, and the OEM EER rating at ARI conditions. Finally, we're going to complete the model number. The model number field, again, is to capture the rest of those model number characters. As previously mentioned, in many cases, the manufacturer publishes more than just 10 characters in their model number. So let's capture that. Again, it's always important to capture the full model number for equipment cataloging. The equipment model number will be important in the future when this equipment has ever needed to be replaced or repaired. Next, let's capture the serial number. By looking at the nameplate on the unit, I'm going to put in the serial number for this unit. Next, we'll capture the year manufactured. If you don't know the year manufactured, please contact Automated Decision for help. If you're working with equipment tags, select Assign Tag and pick if it's RFID or QR code to assign that tag to this piece of equipment. And finally, we can take a picture of this piece of equipment and give it a profile pic. Once all this information has been verified and entered, next we want to tap Save. Now, saving that piece of equipment has just assigned itself to Site 112. Now you can see here we have another unit called HVAC MUA. Next, let's go over how we delete a piece of equipment. Deleting a piece of equipment is only important when that piece of equipment has been retired from service or has been replaced. Selecting that piece of equipment, go to Edit Unit, scroll all the way down to the bottom and select the Delete button. Again, this piece of equipment should only be deleted if it was mistakenly entered in, if it has been retired from service, or it has been replaced and is no longer being used. You can see here, once this piece of equipment has been deleted, it cannot be recovered from our database. Next, let's go into an existing piece of equipment and verify equipment details. For this scenario, we're going to pick HVAC2 service line. You can see we have two things to do for this piece of equipment. We can perform an EPM before assessment or an EPM after assessment. Prior to performing any assessment, it's absolutely critical to verify the equipment details are correct. So again, let's select Edit Unit. Just like we did with creating a new piece of equipment, we want to just verify the equipment details are correct. First thing I will do is walk over to that piece of equipment, look at the nameplate, and verify this information matches the nameplate. If this information does not match the nameplate, I can tap on any one of these fields and modify or edit that information. And if any of these fields have been edited, simply tap Save to update that information. And another key sign to look for is to ensure that the number of condenser fans and number of compressors that are displayed in the EPM application are the same of what you're seeing. If they are incorrect, then it's a sure sign that the model number selected from the Automated Decision Equipment Database is also incorrect. So ensure that that model number matches the model number that you're working on. Now, let's explore the archive for this unit. Simply tap Archive. All the previously saved records and reports for this piece of equipment will be stored in the archive throughout the years. You can always access the equipment records by tapping on Archive. Let's go into Visual Survey. Here we can see that a visual survey was in fact completed, what type of survey it was, and the technician that completed that visual survey. We can go into Pictures and view what pictures were selected and taken on this piece of equipment, and the condition of this piece of equipment at that point in time. Finally, we can go into the performance report. This is the performance assessment report that was conducted on this piece of equipment by this technician. You can see this piece of equipment at that point in time was running at 5.96 tons of cooling and an efficiency level of 8.37 with a remaining useful life of 6.79 years. The capacity index was running at 79%, which correlates to 79% of the manufacturer rating. EER index was running at 74%, again correlating to 74% of how it should be running from the manufacturer specifications. And the power index was running at 94% of its total capacity per manufacturer specifications. If we want to email this report, we could simply tap email, and we could send that report back to the office or to myself, or we could send it to another employee, a boss, a customer, by tapping in and entering in their email address and tapping send. If we want to view the measurements that were captured at this point in time for this performance assessment, we can tap measurements and view all the measurements that were captured on this piece of equipment. Thank you, and that concludes this training video.